Okay, alright, he's going to gain 3 life. That's honestly is super important at this point. And we have 6 5/7/7s. We're just going to drop this down again. Doesn't matter. I mean, the way that we're drawing cards, you can almost get an infinite loop of Oketra cycling going. So we're going to take action. There he goes back into our deck. Haze of Pollen, cycle it. I mean, we have all the mana in the world. Here we go, Vorinclex. Now I want to know how much land taps for, because this makes it double. What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the channel. For the very first video on this channel, we're going to be playing one of my favorite jank decks that I've made, and that is the Mirari Big Boys deck. Now, as you can see, this deck has the average of 4.5 mana value, only running 23 lands, 15 creatures. It is, of course, historic, and this is playing around one of my favorite cards to come into Arena, Mirari's Wake. If you don't know what this card does, creatures you control get +1/+1, and whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 more mana of any type that land could produce. This ability does stack, so if you have 2, 3, or 4 of them on the field, the amount of lands that you can get almost skyrockets. This channel is all about jank decks, so I will say craft this deck at your own risk. As you can see from this video, we play a couple of games and we do win the vast majority of them. It's just when Wizards decides, to force losses on you or anything like that, that you do end up not winning. But let's just get into the deck text of it. So we're running 4 Llanowar Elves, 3 Explore, 3 Haze of Pollen, 2 Paradise Druids, 3 Cultivates, 3 Harmonize, 2 Elspeth Conquers Death for removal. One of the best white cards ever, God-Eternal Oketra, 5 mana, 3/6 with double strike. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 4/4, and whenever it dies or is put into exile, you can put it back third from the top of your library. We got 3 Nissas for making more creatures and a bit more ramp, 4 Mirari's Wake, and now this is where the more jank side comes in, because the initial bit is almost classical ramp, and we got Harmonize for more card draw, and then we have 2 Elesh Norn Grand Cenobites, we have 1 Treeshaker Chimera, we have 1 Verdant Sun's Avatar, and there are so many different combos in this deck. Sun's Avatar with God-Eternal Oketra, if they're both on the field, you can play a Llanowar Elf, it comes in as a 1/1, you're going to gain 1 life, it's going to trigger Oketra, you're going to create a 4/4, gain 4 life. If you have Mirari's Wake on the field, as you're going to see in this video, if you have 3 Mirari's Wake, everything gets +3/+3, so you can drop a Llanowar Elf, you're going to gain 4 life, you're going to create a zombie, gain 7 life, and just, the life gain, once you actually start getting it going, is almost impossible to stop. Then we have Zetalpa Primal Dawn, coming in at a whopping 8 mana. Of course, the Elder Dinosaur legendary creature of 4/8 with flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, and indestructible. If you get this down on the field, pretty much anybody just concedes, really. Then we have Vorinclex, Voice of Hunger, as another high costing creature card. It doubles all of your land and it can help landlock your opponents, and it has trample, so why not slap it in the deck? We got 2 of the Phyrexians. Then we have 2 Great Henge, a little bit more life gain, help to draw through the deck a bit as well. And if we get anything, like Treeshaker Chimera, Sun's Avatar, Great Henge comes down costing almost nothing. And on the note of cost reduction, we have 1 Ghalta Primal Hunger, which, as you'll see, more often than not, you can just play it for 2 mana and get the ball rolling. This deck works incredibly well, honestly, better than you think it would, and it is a really fun deck to play. Because, if you can get lucky, as you'll see, more often than not, you end up with a Llanowar Elf into Cultivate or Harmonize on turn 2 or turn 3. You can get Mirari's Wake down, sometimes as early as turn 3 or turn 4, and then you're slapping any of these monsters down and just overwhelming your opponents. The amount of different combos, different ways this game can play out, especially with this deck, it's a lot of fun. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to the channel, which you will be because it's my first video, then if you do enjoy it, please subscribe down below if you want to see more. I'm going to be uploading as many of my jank decks as I can, having as much fun as we can, and then, maybe you'll be inspired to make some jank of your own. So now let's just get straight into this video, and the games you're going to see are a perfect example of why this deck works and why you should always play jank. Seeing as this is the first video on this channel is all about the jank. So craft at your own risk, but these are going to be the decks which are just so fun when they actually manage to pop off, and they're not just, the try-hard decks like mono red aggro all the time. This is just going to be about bringing the fun back into Magic. So our opponent is playing some form of Golgari from the Temple of Milady. We're going to drop this down and immediately Cultivate, which means next turn we can Mirari's Wake. Okay, like this is going to give us 2 white. You don't actually need more than 2 white in the deck. It's only really just for God-Eternal Oketra. But I mean, you can even just have 1, but as long as you have Mirari's Wake down, you are set. So look at this. Honestly, it's off to a pretty slapping start. The opponent's going to be on 3 lands, and we got Mirari's Wake down, giving us 9 mana, including the Llanowar Elf. And I think this guy is just going to insta-concede when we play either Oketra or Elesh Norn. We'll just have to see, especially because it's going to make his Fiend Artisan just completely useless. Of course he has an Assassin's Trophy! Why wouldn't you? Just, smashing, dude. Absolutely smashing. You had an answer to it. Alright, if that's the case, then we're just going to drop... actually, we're going to take this time to Harmonize. In my opinion, one of the best green cards. Just straight up 4 mana, draw 3 cards. Drop this down, explore, get a bit more ramp. Alright, we didn't find another land, but that's okay. 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 mana anyway. We've ramped really hard, even without being able to use Mirari's Wake. But you can see the game plan with this. If we had it on the field, we'd be able to drop multiple of these a turn. What are you dropping? Rizrom, Lurch. Okay, and absolutely nothing. And now, if I just drop this, does he concede? Let's have a look. Okay, so anything you drop with power 2 or less is just immediately going to the graveyard. And I'm not sure how well it's... Oh. Gain 1 life free. Okay, so he's a Golgari graveyard deck. Alright, just for the fun of it, we're going to drop Mirari's Wake. And then just attack in with both. Honestly, this is a pretty strong showing of the deck. Even though it is very janky, this deck in particular does work more often than you'd think it would. And you can change out any of these big creatures for any other like big slapping cards which you prefer. Okay, so now watch this. We're first going to drop Oketra. Why it taps the Llanowar Elf, I have no idea. We'll drop Verdant Sun's Avatar. We'll get a million life going. And this guy is going to concede next turn. No possible way he comes back from this. Unless he has a board wipe. But the only black board wipe I can think of is going to be Meat Hook Massacre. That's in the game. And no way he can get it over 9. But he's going for it. I'll give him that. He's going for direct damage in this sense. Okay. So now we drop the Vorinclex Voice of Hunger. We're going to gain 7 life because of the triggers for this. Quickly Harmonize, draw a couple more cards, and this is the way that the deck just you can almost play your entire deck really. If you can get enough mana going so that you can always draw Harmonize or the Great Henge, anything like that, then you know what we're even going to do. We're just going to mess with this guy a little bit, explore, see if we can draw anything else. No, but even just from playing a Paradise Druid, we're going to get a 7/7, gain 7 life, then gain 5 more life. Alright, let's just end this before he concedes. So we're just going to smack in. And that is going to be first game of Mirari's Big Boys taking the win. Very nice. Okay, so we have you know what? As it is said in the Magic the Gathering circles, Poker God hand, we're just going to absolutely keep it. We've got a bit of ramp, Harmonize and Mirari's Wake. If we can get it off, you know, a turn or 2 sooner, and we go first, which is perfect. So next turn is going to be Explore, 3 lands down. If we draw another land next turn, then we can Harmonize. Not ideal. Alright, so if we draw a land now, we can Harmonize, which is going to get us another land, most likely, into Mirari's Wake. And then from there, let's just get the ball rolling with this one. The opponent is playing Birth of Meletis, blue-white. Is it going to be a control deck? I really hope not, because that is just ultimate fun police. But you can't blame someone for wanting to control out a game. Okay, so next turn we do have Mirari's Wake. The ramp in this deck does work very well. You know, you can either get Llanowar Elf into Cultivate on turn 2, or into Explore, just really anything to get Mirari's Wake down as fast as possible. He hasn't pre-medded a board wipe or anything like that. So if he only has 1 mana, this should, yep, doesn't get countered, doesn't get anything of the sorts. Okay, he's going to gain a bit of life. He's going to create another 0/4, but that doesn't really matter with what we're playing. Are you going to bounce it? Oh, everybody has a solution. Can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated unless they're away. I'm sorry, buddy. I don't think that actually does anything, right? No, I think I have to hit you with the oops there. That still taps for 2. I mean, that was... you gained 4 life. Sure, but that was about everything with that one. Okay, so which of the greed plays... Alright, we're going to drop another Mirari's Wake, right? You have to keep up the greed plays. Drop Oketra. And then drop the Great Henge. Coming in with an absolute showing of this deck at the moment. Double Mirari's Wake down. And as if it wasn't good enough already, you know, doubling all of your lands. It also buffs everything. With 2 down, everything gets +2/+2. So, alright, Golden Egg. Love to see it. It's not an Assassin's Trophy. Okay, another Golden Egg. Alright, next turn, we're gonna go off on this turn. Harmonize, give us something good. Not too amazing, but we're gonna drop a third Mirari's Wake. This is 3 out of the 4 in the deck, you know, in almost the top 20 cards, which is amazing, really. Draw an additional card. It's okay. We can now cycle this for 3, but it only really taps 1, and we have a spare. Alright, this is mainly just deck thinning at the moment. This does happen with the deck occasionally, where, I mean, we're only running 23 lands, and we do have a lot of ways to actually get lands, so mana flooding shouldn't really happen, but I think it does. I'm not fully sure as to why. You know, maybe the deck thinks, okay, if he wants to tap lands for mana, double mana, triple mana, quadruple mana, let's just give him all the lands. So this guy's on 6 lands, and we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in our hand. So that's 10 out of 23 with 39 left in the deck. As long as we can draw a creature or a Harmonize, anything to get the draw going, especially because Oketra makes... Ooh, okay. So this actually doesn't target anything, which isn't too great. We have nothing in the graveyard to reanimate, so we're just going to swing in. He's going to block, of course. I think that's a wipe. Surely it's a wipe, but this is where Oketra's just one of the best white cards. If you can ever fit it into a deck, you should always fit God-Eternal Oketra into the deck, because aside from making creatures, making 4/4 black zombie warrior creature tokens whenever you cast a creature spell, also the bottom text, whenever he dies, just put into exile, and you put it to its owner's library 3rd from the top, so you can never actually get rid of him like this. He's like, oh, I did something, I got rid of Oketra. Not really, Chief. If we draw a creature, any form of draw, he's just coming back onto the battlefield next turn. Okay, we didn't. We got a second Elspeth, but honestly, I think that's going to be okay, seeing as this sort of player, he's going to be playing it to Fairy, isn't he? Okay, it doesn't matter. End turn, we're gaining 2 life each turn from the Great Henge, so I'm not too worried about these Griffins. What are you playing? Realm Cloak Giant. Okay, big 7/7, something I can actually target. Or, and this is the big or, we just drop Zetalpa Primal Daunt. Look, and it's tapping 2 lands for an 8 mana creature. Okay, it's GG, right? Comes in at an 11/12. Now we drop Oketra. We have literally all the mana we could possibly want to produce. So I'm going to tap 1 land. 4. Okay, Harmonize. Oh, we didn't draw a creature? It's fine. Another Harmonize. And now it's like, oh, it really wasn't the best, but it's okay. I'm going to drop a Llanowar Elf. I'm going to create a 7/7, sorry. And I'm going to draw another card. Oh, we're going to drop another 1/1 for 1 mana. It's okay. Give us another 7/7 and a 5/5. Okay, so let's just draw an additional card. Oh, I didn't even do the best bit yet. Elspeth Conquers Death. See you later, Realm Cloak Giant. If you're going to get rid of any of these with a wipe, they're just going to come back with a vengeance. We're going to thin out our deck a little bit more, though I'm pretty sure he is just going to concede next turn. Even if he does wipe, we're just going to keep this Oketra in hand, because there's no point for the greed. We could make an additional 7/7, but I don't think it matters too much. Alright, he's not wiping as of yet. There we go, Doomscar. But guess what? This is one of the best cards ever, because flying, double strike, vigilance, trample, and indestructible. We're going to take action. Probably shouldn't really done that. Put it to the graveyard, get something back with Elspeth, but we can get any of these numerous creatures back. Actually, if you look at this, this is almost perfect ramp. 3 Harmonize, all of this. Alright, we'll drop this land because you can actually see it. Now we drop our second Oketra. Draw us a card that's hopefully a creature. Or a Nissa. Never say no to a Nissa. So now it taps for 5, which is almost a bit of a joke. This guy has to concede, right? We're going to have 16 damage coming through the sky anyway. It has trample, so even if he blocks them, damage is still going to be getting through. And you can see that even if he wipes, we got another Oketra coming next turn regardless. Now we're just going to end the turn. 3, 2, 1. Nope, you're sticking with it. It's fine with me, buddy. As long as you don't rope me out, we should be all good. I'm not sure what this guy's plan was. Birth of Maletis, Revitalize, Doomscar, Day Judgment, all that sort of stuff. Doesn't really... Maybe he just hasn't really drawn it. Obviously, he's trying to be a life gain deck. If he's got the Griffin Creator, I'm sure he probably has Book of Exalted Deeds, probably some Angels. And now, when you have some big boys, thanks to Mirari, you can drop Ghalta for 2 mana, coming in at a 15/15 with Trample. Gonna create another 7/7. Gonna draw as a card. And I think I literally just tapped the Great Henge for that one. Okay. You know what, just for the additional card draw, let's drop this Oketra. One of them's going to die, go back to 3rd from the top, so we're not really losing anything, to be honest. Just sort of needs to give something haste. I believe we have a Finale of Devastation in this deck. I'm recording this before I do the intro, that's why I ask, otherwise I would totally know. Alright, how much mana can we actually produce if we wanted? Okay, close to 60. Love to see it. We're going to untap this, and I believe that's going to be game, right? You were a good opponent, Nurkon. Thank you for staying in and not conceding just when you see Zetalpa drop down. Banish into Fable. Whenever you cast a spell from your hand, copy it. If you control an artifact, then copy it. If you control an enchantment, you may choose new targets for the copies. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. You create a 2/2 white knight, creature token with vigilance. Wow, that's an Eldraine card I haven't seen before and works really well in this dude's deck. But it's sort of delaying the inevitable because I'm just going to replay them, draw more cards, create more 7/7s. So if this was any other deck, Chief, that would have been a bit of a good move, but unfortunately. And you're just going to take the 12? Why would you just take the 12? They don't have Trample, you could have easily blocked them. And we drop it back down again. I think we need to hit him with a cheeky good game. Okay, now these were back-to-back games. If you are enjoying the content and you do enjoy seeing the jank that we're going to be playing on this channel, this is just a taster of some of the incredible decks we have to come, then please consider hitting subscribe down below. I would absolutely love it and appreciate it very much. And I honestly think you're going to have some fun watching these videos, because I know I'm having fun making them. Okay, alright, he's going to gain 3 life. That's honestly is super important at this point. And we have 6 5/7/7s. We're just going to drop this down again. Doesn't matter. I mean, the way that we're drawing cards, you can almost get an infinite loop of Oketra cycling going. Because we're going to take action. There he goes back into our deck. Haze of Pollen, cycle it. I mean, we have all the mana in the world. Here we go, Vorinclex. Now I want to know how much land taps for, because this makes it double. So we have 4 already. 1 white taps for 5, taps for 10. Oketra again. Simply because why not? If he has any lands, they're going to be locked next turn anyway. So the best thing you can do is board wipe, but even then, this has double strike and indestructible, so you're not really going to be up to much there, buddy. This is just an easy win. Very happy. This jank fest is playing off. And we got 15 cards left in our library. We're almost milling ourselves with how good this deck can be. You don't think it's much of a draw engine, but it really is. I mean, I can see what this guy's game plan was. Drop 3 of these, manage to gain a bunch of life, bounce a bunch of creatures, create a bunch of 2/2s with vigilance. He just hasn't really been able to pull it off. Good game, buddy. We're just about to drop this as well, which would board wipe. And if he wasn't going to concede, he would have then anyway. So even if you start a hand with God-Eternal Oketra at 5 mana and, you know, Grand Cenobite at 7, honestly, you would almost think it's rigged, but the amount of times you start with a Forest, Llanowar Elf into Cultivate, you know, this hand is you're definitely going to keep because it's going to be turn 3 Mirari's Wake, turn 4 Elesh Norn, and unless this guy is playing crazy counters, we should be okay. What have you got in store for me? Snapshots. Hit him with a hello. The new update also did bug this angel emote. For some reason it's just this big white square, so I'm not sure what you're doing there, Wizards, but you might want to fix that one. Insta keep. The only thing that would make it better is if we're going first, but we're not. It's okay. We want to give them a fair chance against this This deck, which should not work as well as it does. Okay, oh, he's red. Don't shock this. If this goes down the toilet, then we are at the mercy of drawing another land, and it could mess us up a little bit. Okay, he does not. So now, turn 2 Cultivate. As long as you don't have a Quench. Are you a counter deck? Oh, you're totally going to counter it. Oh, it doesn't get countered. Very much love to see that. Okay, it doesn't really matter which ones we go for, because we have Branchloft Pathway anyway. Okay, so he's the Izzet deck with the Cinderwind. Okay, so unless he has Enchantment Destruction, we should be able to pop off pretty hard next turn. We are going to take some bops from this, but it should be okay. Because it's only get +1/+1 until end of turn. Okay, I was about to say it would just die to this, but we'll have to see. 2 mana up on the board, so he could have a Quench, Censor. He doesn't have anything pre-medded, so Negate as well. Okay, no, double red. Yeah, so the worst thing he's going to have is a Negate or something that we pay for. Or it's into the Royal. And he gets, every person manages to get rid of Mirari's Wake. Like, what are you doing, Chief? Well, I mean, we're just going to have to play it back exactly the same. I think we even drop it for white, because we do have a bit more white in the hand at the moment. Okay, I honestly don't mind taking a couple of bops from this, as long as Mirari's Wake stays on the field. Harmonic Prodigy. I know this combos off with a lot of things, but what can you combo off with 2 mana, I wonder? Classic Opt. Okay, because I hadn't even thought of that. It makes this trigger twice. Okay, that actually is a pretty powerful combination. I do like the idea behind this guy's deck. I mean, he's going to attack in with the 5/5 unless he has another... Nope. Okay, with 1 mana up. Is Censor 1 mana? Okay, no, 2 mana. Irrelevant. He plays Chart of Course, so it's okay. Alright, actually be taking some hard bops from that. Drop this down as green. Now, whenever you tap a land for mana, it produces, so it's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, then we just hope that he can't buff it up enough. Or arguably, yeah, no, we drop another Mirari's Wake. I don't really get why it taps the Llanowar Elf, but that's okay. Okay, so if we drop it like this, everything gets a bit less powerful. We can drop this for the 3 from that 1 land. Okay, we're 1 short from playing Oketra, but it's okay. We're setting up nicely for next turn. Even if he manages to get rid of it, we got another Elesh Norn. I'm saying it right. Elesh Norn, Grand Cenobite. This also reduces how much damage we're going to be taking. Unless he can bounce it, then everything's going to get buffed a bit more. It comes in as a -1/1. It's going to attack and buff our creatures because negative damage. Just don't have another Into the Royal, because that is going to mess us up a little bit, because it's going to go away, get more powerful, and then it's going to trigger 3 times per instant or sorcery. So this is going to be a bit of a close game, but we can still come back from it. Double the power of target creature. Okay, don't have another instant or sorcery. Now I'm scared. What a card. 2 mana, double the power of target creature. And it's an instant as well. It's not bad. We should make a janky deck around Unleash Fury. I don't know, double Unleash Fury into Fling or something like that. Okay, he doesn't have anything. I mean, the best he can do is Chart a Course. Oh, and it triggers Curious Obsession 3 times as well. That is a really powerful combination. I do have to give it to you there. But I think... I could be mistaken, but if we drop another one, everything's going to get -4/-4, right? I think the abilities will stack before I have to get rid of one. And we have so much mana, we may as well just try and see. Alright, you have no more mana left, buddy. Is this going to be the turn I get you to concede? You drop off, you just dropped off an island. Okay, so... It's only going to buff that one more. It does give us another blocker. Okay, but first we drop God-Eternal Oketra. He does have a big bow and arrow, so you'd think he would have reach, but unfortunately he does not. No, we're going to tap our lands correctly because the game wants to mess with us. Yes. Come on, double stack. Alright, so everything's at -1/-1. Will they die? Yes! Okay. Nice. Thanks. Now is the moment that you concede. Because we're going to drop... Why game? I can tap a land. How much do I tap a land for? I tap a land for literally 4. And it's like, you know what? Let's tap this Llanowar Elf. He doesn't need that. He doesn't need that extra 5 damage this turn. Honestly, it's okay. We're going to buff one of these up. And the reason I added Treeshaker Chimera into the deck is because all creatures have to block it. So if you get a board state like this, even if he spams down 1,000,000 creatures, they're all going to have to block this one. Everything else gets through, especially the zombie warriors. And whenever it dies, you draw 3 cards. So it sort of helps to get big smacks through and draw you some cards. Alright, Dreadhorde Arcanist. This was a bit of a close game. All these 3 games that you've seen now are just consecutively in a row. I'm not cutting out the losses. This game works more than it ever should. Alright, now he's just having a meme. Alright, hit you with that good game. Let's go. 3 out of 3. Mirari's big boys it's showing up. Okay, now it isn't Llanowar Elf into Cultivate, but we go first and it's Llanowar Elf into Harmonize. So this still could work out really well. What colours are you playing? Let's see what we're going to be going. Okay, so it's going to be a Blizzard Brawl sort of deck. I understand your game plan. Paradise Druid down. Next turn into Harmonize. We're going to have 5 mana. So if we draw a Mirari's Wake, that'd be even better, to be honest. Get Yorvo. Okay. I do think we're going to have to take a bit of a smack from Yorvo on this one. But it should be okay. The tapped Hydra land, Old Growth Troll. This is some variant of the Championship deck. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No blocks. We've got to play it hard and loose sometimes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Zetalpa can come down next turn if we cultivate. And we're just going to grab 2 white lands. No blocks. Okay, now we can act. No blocks, no attacks. Now we can actually block. Well, we can block 1 and still play Elesh Norn. We can not block anything and play Zetalpa. We're just going to have to... Oh, he plays Unnatural Growth! Such a good card! Alright, we might be losing here. We're going to have to see. I think Elesh Norn comes down for this one. Going to reduce some of the damage. I'm just going to block Yorvo here because he doesn't have Trample. Okay, how do we play this now then? We could drop this. This comes in at 5. No. I mean, I'm going to gain 5, go up to 12. Then... No, I can't. This is going to go down to 3, going to go up to 6. Alright. This is the way we have to play it. Reduces the Llanowar Elf attacking and means that if he does attack, he's going to be losing something. I think survival at this point. Next turn, we can play Verdant Sun's Avatar, start getting their life up. And when you get this and Oketra going, I mean, as you've seen before, the deck just starts to go off. He still gets the Yorvo trigger, which is a clever way to get around it. I'll give you that much. And now we're going to have to block. Oh, he puts us in a tough situation there. If we had 1 more mana, unless he's going to Blizzard Brawl, and then we just lose, and it's GG. Ram through, even better. Alright, I'll give you that good game. This was the forced loss. I mean, we nearly pulled it off. If we had 1 more blocker, we could have got away with it. But it's okay. GG, my dude. Unnatural Growth. What a card. Still a bit poker goddy, but we're going to keep it. Drop off Nissa, because she doesn't actually do anything, because these aren't basic forests. As long as we draw another land, we should be chilling. Into another Mirari's Wake. Okay, it's going to be Ops, right? Okay, I'm not going to attack just in case it's a Spectral Sailor, because we want one more land, and then Mirari's Wake comes down. Or he just insta-concedes. Double Llanowar Elf is just too much of a threat. Okay, we're going to play another game, because that one was just too fast. The sheer energy of the Mirari big boys makes this guy concede. This is what you absolutely love to see when you're playing a double-coloured deck, to have no early plays and all of one land type. Let's mulligan that and Poker God this hand. 3, 4, 5. Yep, one Cultivate should be enough. If we had the Llanowar Elf, this would be absolutely perfect. He's playing no turn 1 plays. Okay, we drew another land, that's alright. Ooh, I'm liking this pet. Are you an Elf Ball deck? This is going to have to wait and see. Alright, going to get as many proper forests as we can, so Nissa does do a little bit more. Ooh, Beast Whisperer. Now that is a slapper of a card. There are a couple of decks I have planned which you're going to be able to watch where Beast Whisperer is one of the core reasons why the deck can just almost infinite draw and you can play your whole deck. This guy knows what's up. He doesn't block because he knows he needs that card draw from Beast Whisperer. I think this is just going to be a typical elf deck. Bit weird to run Druid at the Cowl. But, I mean, you didn't play the old Gramps elf on turn 3. That taps however many elves you have. Yeah, elf ball deck. Okay, so we need to get ahead of this as fast as possible. He has elf generation. We have Oketra, so we'll see what we can do. Oh, he doesn't have elf generation. Yeah, he does. You just have to tap it, that's all. Beast Whisperer coming in at 3-4. Nissa stays alive, so I do not mind. Okay, so now Oketra comes out. Then Paradise Druid comes out. It's going to create us a 4-4. As I said before, I mean, Oketra is just sometimes the MVP of a deck, just with the fact that it can create 4-4s. Especially against decks like Elf Ball, which want to, you know, create as many tokens as possible. You can spam down as many creatures as possible. Then you also, you know, create your own tokens. And yeah, and I love the artwork. Look at this one. You got Oketra in the background and Bolas there commanding it all. Now this guy's thinking, oh dip. Do I just concede? Do I block? But I need my elves. I need the mana. No, you don't. Create a Hoof Behemoth isn't going to do anything, buddy. Alright, so we're trading off one land. It's okay. Still taking 3 to the face. Now, as long as we don't draw a land, we should be okay here. There's the Gramps. Everything gets buffed. Next turn he has a million mana. I mean, we all know how Elf works, right? One mana 3-3 with Death Touch because the other effects. Elves are entirely balanced card archetype. Next turn they're all going to become 5/5s. Yep, and he taps. He has 5. Ooh, not what we love to see. I mean, it is and it isn't at the same time. So I would have absolutely loved to be able to get a creature there to create more tokens. But if we can draw something now, at least we have a million mana. We can draw Elesh Norn. That sort of makes all elf decks concede, really. Because as soon as you manage to get rid of one of the ones that buffs everything else, they all fall. Ooh, he's going in deep with the buffing of the other elves. What a great card. Canopy Tactician. Card so nice, he plays it twice. Alright, this might be another loss for us here. Yeah, I mean, elves can just outscale. He gets a million mana. He's drawing a million cards with double Beast Whisperer. This now taps for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, I mean, he has like 20, 30 mana or something at his disposal. But does he attack? He might attack with the one with Death Touch, maybe. Or he's going to hold off for just that going wide tactic. Which I think he's going to do. He's on the end step now. Give us a creature. Don't be a land. Or give us Haze of Pollen. Thank you very much, game. Exactly what I needed. I mean, we can at least show them what we're doing. Oh, look at this. We made a 10 mana. Woo!
Rise, my elemental friend.
3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 12. Yeah, I mean, we lose. We may as well just go in and attack. Hit him with that good game. Say hello. I mean, you really don't need to think too hard about this, man. Just give it to all the tokens. I mean, this is the last battle cry. You know what's about to happen. I know what's about to happen. Everybody watching this video knows what's about to happen. And if you don't, leave me a comment then, I guess. Oh, if we could have somehow buffed this and he didn't realize it had double strike, you were cutting it close there, buddy. Alright, and now we concede. That has been the deck, ladies and gentlemen. As with any good Jank deck, there are always a couple of things you can trade out, trade in. You know, we could add like Doom Scars, a couple of board wipes to control it out a little bit until we get Mirari's Wake and Oketra down and start churning out the tokens. You can put a bit more of a focus on creating the 4/4s if you wanted by having another Oketra in here. You could also put some other control stuff if you wanted to, like Ixalan's Binding, any of that sort of stuff. But how it sits at the moment, I am very happy with this deck. Every time I play it, I have an absolute blast. If you do want to craft something similar yourself, you know, you can trade out any of the big creatures for any of the other, you know, high-costing cards if you want. You can go down the route of Ugin and Ulamog, really make your enemies hate you. But for the sake of this deck, I just put in as much OP stuff as we could possibly get down to get them out as fast as possible. And that has been the deck. If you did enjoy the video, let me know with a comment down below. Like the video if you're feeling generous. Subscribe for more, because there's definitely going to be more MTG Jank on its way. Have a good day.